Alright, so I recently finished my first real college course, and what is this spawn? Hello? Anyway, I finished my first college course recently, and I'm not talking like AP or dual enrollment or anything. I'm talking about a full-fledged 8-week summer course. And I remember logging in for the first time, ready to see what real college has to offer. But if this is what real college is going to be like, I think it's safe to say I'll be just fine. So, how do I even go about approaching this seat? I guess I'll just start getting wood then. Yeah, for context, I'm taking online college classes to earn an associate's degree before transferring. But unfortunately, as a first-time college student, I'm required to take a student development course. You know, the class where you learn revolutionary concepts like note-taking good and procrastination bad. And like the worst part is that I can't really take other courses until I've completed this one. So this is really the only course I had going into the first summer semester. Which is on... Give me leaf litter, I need furnace fuel. Which is honestly pretty funny considering the fact that I've already maxed out their AP credit limit. Meaning, apparently I have enough college experience to skip a dozen classes, but not enough to convince them I know what studying is. So anyways, I logged into Canvas a few days earlier, right, to check the syllabus and make sure I'm properly enrolled and stuff when I see the door is just left wide open. The instructor made the mistake of leaving every assignment and every quiz unlocked. No weekly lockouts, nothing, just complete access to the entire course. So I decided to do what any rational person would do. College any percent speedrun, baby, let's go. I pulled out my phone, went to the stopwatch, and pressed start. For those of you who might be unaware, the first part of a college speed run is reading through the titles, okay? Cause like there was one module called First Impressions, and I'm pretty sure that module is gonna be a lot easier than the module called Career Research, you know? That's the first thing you do. You start reading the titles. Then the next thing you do is you start looking at the assignments, okay? Because there are some assignments that you just, like, click a few buttons, and boom, you're done. And then there are some assignments where you gotta, like, build an entire weekly schedule based on a college semester or something. So naturally, one's gonna be a lot easier than the other. And then once you got your plan in place, you gotta start doing the assignments and modules and stuff. Because how else are you gonna, speed run the class if you're not completing the class? So I went ahead and started skimming through, clearing the easiest modules first. Like, I had to do things like make a SMART goal and confirm that college does in fact exist. And the quizzes weren't that hard either. Mostly just clicking buttons about what you just read. What is this, copper? And they had 2 attempts too, so if I did get anything wrong, I could just go back and get it right the second time. And then for the assignments, you got 2 different types, okay? You got the discussion boards, and you got the projects. The discussion boards are pretty simple. All you do is type up a response and respond to 2 other people while you're at it. And the assignments, some of the assignments came pretty easy. Hold on, I need food. Like, for one of them, all I had to do was, like, fill out this career quiz, and then, like, download the results as a PDF and submit that. Why am I taking damage? Oh wait, I forgot I had air bubbles. But some of them are actually kinda insane. Like, for the weekly schedule, the assignment recommended that for, like, every credit hour or whatever, I spend 3 hours studying. I can guarantee you that no one spends 3 hours studying for 1 credit. But because I want to get a 100 on this assignment, I'm now allegedly studying 3 hours a day for this course. Yeah, but around the 3 hour mark, I was basically more than halfway done with the class. And this is supposed to be an 8-week course, remind you. At this point, it wasn't an 8-week run anymore. This was shaping up to be a world record blowout. So I continued clicking buttons and submitting assignments. Then, before I knew it, I'd got to the final exam. Now let me set the stage real quick. I'm 5.5 hours in. I'm done with everything else. I've reached the final boss of this student development course. Okay, and it's staring me down. It's staring me down. I got no idea what to expect. I click on it, 30 question multiple choice test. Wait, yo, where'd these drown come from? Anyway. And when I open it, most of the questions are recycled from earlier modules. Although credit where credit's due, it did also include 2 short response questions. So I was basically ready to get a 100% in this class. Started like towards the middle of the exam, I was already starting to think about lunch. But then I hit a question that actually forced me to think, which is a first for this course. Because most of the rest of the course, you're basically just following what the class wants you to do. But this one question, it might have been covered in the reading or whatever. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't even do the reading. I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't even do the reading. This one question actually forced me to think. This question asked me whether humans can process language faster than they can comfortably speak it. Which is an interesting question. So, looking fate directly in the eyes, I skipped the question and moved on with the test. I did eventually have to circle back, so I started thinking. I started thinking about reading speed. I started thinking about speaking speed. And then in a stroke of academic genius, I started thinking about Eminem. Because if there's any benchmark for language speed, it's Slim Shady. And the more I thought about it... Man, there's ice up here. Come on. Freaking hate ice, dude. The more I thought about it, the more the answer became clear. Even Eminem can't rap as fast as I can read. Reading doesn't require you moving your mouth. So, with the rest of the exam completed, I submitted. And before I knew it, I pressed stop on the timer. 5 hours, 51 minutes, and 5 seconds. The semester was over before it even started, and I really wanted to eat lunch. Later in the day, I got an email that my exam had been graded, which I have to say is a surprisingly fast turnaround for a class that hasn't even started yet. So I logged back in to check my grade. Perfect score. An 8-week summer course, 100%ed in 6 hours, all thanks to Marshall Mathers. Which, I gotta say, is not a sentence I ever thought I'd be saying about college.